I can't afford it, so I don't like it. But then again, I can't really afford a lot of cars. Whoa, look at that. This is like, they keep saying 4-door, but then showing a 2-door. Is that a real last name? Stood next to a Stingray one day. It was parked outside my house. It's like, that's a little small. It looks like a cross section of a piece of beef. What's up, crew? Welcome to a new episode of Prjct.Pod, a podcast about cars, because what else is there to talk about? Today, I'd like to kick off a new series I'm calling Prjct.NEWS, and that is a recap of the previous week in the world of cars. I feel like I've become a little bit siloed or hyper-focused on drifting. I typically only watch content from creators who are in the drift space, so I feel like I'm not fully aware of everything that's happening in the car world. And on top of that, if I learn something new, maybe somebody in the community learns something new, and we can create this sort of space of, didn't realize that was a thing. So as often as I can on a Monday, I'm going to upload a recap of the previous week. And because I don't have a team behind me, I'm really a solo operation with some help from Justin here and there. I'm using Claude to give me the recap of the past week, and then I'm going to just candidly talk about the things that are happening. It's literally going to be a genuine reaction from me, and then relaying that information to you, and then my 2 cents off the top of the dome. And in the future, I'd love to source stories from you in the community. If you want me to cover something in the following week, let me know down in the comments, and I'll make sure I add it to my search. Since this will be a series, a part of Prjct.Pod, you can either continue watching this video on YouTube or find it on any major podcasting platform. Without any further delay, let's take a look at what we got here. All right, so Claude brought up, I asked for 5 stories in the car enthusiast space. And it was actually really cool because I didn't say a variety. I just said 5 stories. And I think it knows that I am drift specific, but it gave me 5 completely different stories. At the top here, we got Monterey Car Week 2026 kicked off. And there's a link from Yahoo, of all things. So let's just dive into that link instead of reading that little bio. Now, Monterey Car Week is definitely something that I want to go to. It's kind of a far drive now. It wasn't too bad when I was in Rockland, maybe about the same, to be honest. But it kicked off with a race in Laguna Seca, which also, surprisingly, I've never been to. I haven't even physically been to Laguna, which is crazy because I lived in San Jose for a long time and it's really down the street. But I didn't really dive hard into car culture until maybe 5 years ago. Like, got a little more serious. Now, this one didn't really come up with anything big as far as news is concerned, but instead of kicked off with a race, there was a kickoff party in the paddock walks with 300 plus historic race cars prepping for the Rolex Monterey Motorsports reunion. So that's pretty cool. Maybe I should like start a bucket list of car specific things. Like I said, I've never been to Laguna Seca. I've only been to 2 racetracks now, I think, or maybe it was only Irwindale. No, I've been to a dirt track. So I need to like list off a bunch of tracks that I need to go to, and then stuff like this, big events that happen annually, I need to go to one. So that's it for that one. We'll go on to the next thing. This one I knew about. I actually learned after the fact because I didn't get a chance to watch the live stream for Formula D in Indianapolis, but it got rained out. That was so rough to watch. Like, and in this case, they did get through PROSPEC, and there was some really big news. Camren Sorensen, he's the youngest winner, I believe it is, 14-year-old, both the youngest Formula Drift winner ever and the first winner at the new Indianapolis Raceway Park. So this was their first, this like inaugural round 5 in Indianapolis, brand new track. And if you were watching or paying attention, it definitely looked like a brand new track for a lot of the drivers. There was many collisions with a wall at the end of the big bank, and it almost took out Adam LZ, which for me, I'm like, dang, this guy has had a rough 2026. Given that I don't think he hasn't podiumed at all. And he has always been one of the drivers to watch, right? So it's like he's got such a badass build. He is a machine when it comes to drifting. And then, you know, every single event, there seems to be something else that's blocking him from having a decent season now. Like, he's definitely not going to have a great season, but he's now fighting for a decent season. So seeing him crash, rebuild his car, and get back out there with an operational vehicle, and then have the rain come in and flood the track before they can even get through, I think it was top 32 they were trying to start, was just tough to see. But if you watch his vlogs, he did update and say it could have been a blessing in the sky. They noticed a bunch of other issues in the car. So if they had to run it hard, chances are they might have hurt things. And then on top of that, I didn't even know this because I like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch the live stuff. I kind of got here and there a little glimpse in between things that were happening that weekend. And this was not last weekend, it was the weekend before. But congrats to Camren Sorensen for being the youngest winner in PROSPEC. And I wonder if they'll continue in Indianapolis based on this storm issue, like unless they fix their flood prevention. Number 3 on the list, we got Bugatti dropped a third Solitaire one-off at Monterey. So I guess this was at the Monterey Car Week, which is cool. A little overlap in stories. I briefly saw this on social media. I don't pay attention a lot to Bugatti stuff. The one thing I did see recently was like Bugatti is slowly dying. It's always been dope cars, but I can't afford it, so I don't like it. But then again, I can't really afford a lot of cars. See, the most recent 4 days ago reveals gorgeous Destrier. Okay, that's pretty nice. That's not bad. I'd take that. I need to actually change this window so that it's easier to do shorts with. Bugatti in-house coach building division Programme Solitaire is in the business of making singular, gorgeous, one-off creations for a very select clientele. Not me. So, looks pretty dope. Do we have any other angles? That's pretty sick. Ooh. Was that in Monterey? Man, that's nice. That's not a nice. Okay. Let me know down in the comments. Are you pretty stoked about this sort of thing? Like vehicles that are out of reach for the general population? Is it still really cool? I know we go to Cars and Coffees and we see Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and we're not talking about the Ferraris that are affordable now. We're talking about the Ferraris that are brand new, super clean, garaged 90% of their life. Is it still cool to see something that none of us will be able to afford? Like, look at that interior. What is happening in there? It looks like a cross section of a piece of beef. What the hell is that design? That looks pretty cool. Little cockpit action. I mean, this thing looks like a concept car, but it's real. It's drivable. That's pretty cool. I like these action shots for sure. Like, no matter what, I don't care if it's untouchable. Action shots and videos are always going to be welcome. Anyways, that's enough about the Bugatti. I guess they showed it off at the Monterey Car Week, and I have no idea how much one of these would cost. Let's see if I can get an answer from Google. Cost. Does not disclose an official price for the one-off Destrier. 20 million maybe? However, bespoke builds from this ultra exclusive program command 8-figure sums. That's insane. Anywho, moving on. On number 4, we got 7th gen Camaro pushed back, and it's going 4-door. So this one, I had no idea. I had literally, man, it's another one of these links. So there's a Reddit thread. There's this. Let's go ahead and look at this one. Looks good. Looks good. Ooh. So is this might be what it used to look like, and now it's being pushed back because they've decided to go 4-door. Has been delayed with the first 4-door version of the pony car, or has it always been potentially 4-door? I don't know, but that's 2-door. Or is there like they're adding a second model option that will be 4-door? How about we add to our search term delay? 2029 platform that underpinned Camaro model. All right, well, this is like it keeps saying 4-door, but then showing a 2-door. So yeah, I haven't really been following Chevy. I was super into the Silverado in high school. I wanted a Z71 so bad. My first car love was a Stingray, and then I realized I was too big, 6'4" now. Then when I was in love with it, I was like probably 5'11", going on 6 foot. And I've always been a big person. So when I stood next to a Stingray one day, it was parked outside my house. I was like, that's a little small. And then I went from that to a Camaro, which I still love the look of a Camaro, a nice compact feel. It's similar to my love for a Tacoma, but again, it just feels like if I was to have one, I probably would not enjoy it as much because I don't fit well. And then I discovered the Chevelle, and I was like, oh, just like I discovered the Tundra. And like, well, there's a bigger version of these things. So like, I would love to have a Tacoma, but I don't have enough headroom in that thing. Anyways, moving on. So I haven't seen anything about the newest or next generation of Camaros. And the newer style bodies of Camaros have always been interesting to me. Every time I see a Camaro in the right color and the right modifications, I'm like, that's nice. That's real nice. And honestly, I've never sat in one. So maybe one of these days I'll rent one when I'm traveling. could be a good way to test her out. Needless to say, I've not been on top of it enough to know that they were coming out with the next generation. Like the body looks pretty sleek, pretty cool, but still feels like it's moving further and further away from what the original bodies look like. Similar to how I feel about the Mustangs. Like Mustang looked a certain way and then it changed slowly into what it is today, which is badass in certain modified forms, but leaves a lot of desire. And lastly, on the list of 5, we've got a rare Porsche 911S restoration came full circle. Sweet. Dr. Phyllis Yes bought back the 911 she'd completely transformed decades earlier in the 80s because she couldn't stand the idea of it being repainted by someone else. Yes, okay, this one has a link. It's the same spot. I think Claude stopped getting real links, which is kind of annoying. Let's see if Instagram will let me just see it. Nope. Well, it's annoying. How to restore a classic Porsche. I'm not finding this, but it looks like, let's see, Dr. Phyllis. Is that a real last name? To be honest, I'm not sure. Guess who bought it? Porsche is a 1967. Guess who bought it? Some videos I can click on. 84-year-old woman bids. Okay, so here you go. Oh, and it is in Auto Revolution. Whoa, look at that. That is fun paint job. What the? Oh, that's kind of crazy looking. Now, Porsches also are one of those brands that I don't pay close attention to because I just feel out of reach and hard for me to fit into. But I've seen a lot of big people Adam LZ, I guess, is tall. I've never stood next to him. And he owns a few Porsches and has enjoyed it. And then classics. The only classic I truly love is a Chevelle 70, 69, 70, 71. Any other vehicles, I'm not like, hell yeah. So I'm a little tunnel vision when it comes to that. Now, I've definitely thought, especially seeing a lot of these GT3s, GT4s rolling around town, like I can get on board with that. What in the world? This paintbrush has the design on it. How do you? This feels like AI. That's so crazy. How do you do that? That also doesn't look real. Porsche touch-up paint. Porsche? All right. Anyways, that is the final one. What a beautiful Porsche. Cool to see someone come back full circle and grab the vehicle they once tried to restore. I think that's what the story was saying. Interesting format. Definitely a first pass. Maybe a lot of fluff that I would try to cut out next time, especially when it's candid, when it's not pre-scripted and thought through. I'm just sort of giving my general reactions. If you like this format, let me know down in the comments and we'll definitely add it into the rotation of content. And if you have any stories you want me to cover, especially if you live in a car culture space that clearly is not showing up on this channel, drop the story down in the comments, because I really want to dive deeper into car culture, car enthusiast worlds to give myself a more well-rounded feel. Because right now I am truly very drift focused because I'm trying to get my 95 BMW E36 ready to drift, and I'm working on a wiring harness right now. Obviously I own an Evo, but I've never done a circuit, never done a, what is it called? Autocross. I've never done anything race-wise other than go-karts. Why am I losing focus so often? Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, consider joining the crew. That just means subscribe. Lots of cool car content to come. Working on, like I said, my E36 drift build. Currently dealing with the wiring harness that I'm DIYing. I've got some headers going into the Evo 9 MR soon as I get the head gasket and new hardware that I've ordered. And then I have a Tundra that I'm messing with. Not too much modification there. Maybe a wrap coming soon. But I've done a lot of things there that I'm going to update and sort of do a quick year in review. And if you're not new, you know what to do. Hit the like button, leave a comment, share this video. Those are the ways that help grow the crew. And until the next one, I'll see you later, crew. And go spend some money on your money pit, all right? But also, as a closer for podcasting, and if you're listening on one of the many podcast platforms out there, I'm not sure exactly how to boost the engagement on that side. I haven't really researched that yet, but whatever those things are, do them, please. If you enjoyed the episode and you can help us get to others in the car world, I'm looking for car people. I want car people to join the community and we build something awesome together. So thank you for sharing if you do. Bye now.
Back and I'm better than ever. Whoa. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. Yeah. All of those times getting severed. I told them all I can let up. They get not tired of me never. Yeah. Give me a shot and I swear I shoot like Berettas. Yeah. Yeah.